started? Yes. Whatever, do it. But do what you gotta do. There's warm food right there on the stove.
Whoa. All right, check out the speed. All right, hello everyone, and welcome back to another 5K tennis discussion. Today is Tuesday, September the 8th, 2020. Real quick, before we even start this one, our local internet today here on this little island has been really bad, so I'm actually using our cell phone service to try to stream this. So please let us know if it begins to lag or if it begins to freeze. And we'll try to correct that at once. So apologies in advance if that occurs.
Kind of dark too.
Oh, I forgot to turn the lights on. There we go.
Oh boy, I'm like, wow. Hola, hola, Alex. Hola, Nicola. What's up, Matt? What's up, Hitchhiker? Who do you want to win the U.S. Open? You're already asking questions, huh? Hello, Alex M. Hello, AM Chia. From the men's side, I'm going with Shapo, Felix Loss, or Karina Busta, or Medvedev, or Chorich. Definitely not Timo Zverev.
I think I'm gonna pull for Chorich at this point because I've always been a Chorich fan, and in my opinion, it's really I'm really glad to see him there, and I hope the best for him.
Definitely.
All right, so we good to go? Is the picture clear? We seem pretty good?
Yeah, we're seeing good.
All right, so we're going to start today's show with something that I'm not too terribly happy, or we're not terribly too happy to necessarily do. And if you kind of change your mind about us, then, that's okay. Not really a big deal. But let me start out today's show with a little bit about Carla and I. And I won't, bore you with this. And I think you all pretty much have a good feeling of what we're about. Carla and I have always been outcasts in the tennis world, and not because we get under anybody's skin, but Carla and I have always we come from families that were heavy into tennis. We took it to the highest of levels. Well, not the highest, we didn't challenger and so forth, but and the outcast reason has always been, we never fit in with the Joneses. We didn't have the nice cars, or our parents didn't have a lot of money. We couldn't go out to eat with all the Joneses after the tournament and so forth. And this is since we were very young. And it's still that way for us today. We can't keep up with the Joneses, and nor do we care. We have 5 children. We work extremely hard. We do this as a hobby. We would be doing these same type of discussions, whether it was for this show or not. Carla and I have had tennis debates since we've met. So we do this every day, whether we have a camera on or not. And this show started because of that type of thing. We were like, just let's film it one day, right? All right. We don't come from much, and we're not scared of confrontation. We don't welcome it. We don't ask for it, but we are damn sure not scared of it, okay? We're damn sure not scared of it. I'm fairly certain Gene has probably heard where I'm going to go with this today. And I don't mean to cause confrontation at all, but there's an old saying, don't tread on me, don't step on my toes. So I'm going to make this a point, and I've been wanting to do this for about 4 months. Have we not? About 4 months? Mm-hmm. And it came across my plate again last night out of the blue. So finally what I did is I went and I did a little research and actually watched what people were telling me, and it struck a nerve in me. Carla doesn't particularly care so much, but for me, it really pissed me off to the point where if a confrontation is necessary, then let's roll. And if it's not, if it's just, some spoiled brat, then, just keep your mouth shut. But we're definitely not scared of confrontation at all. I'm not trying to do it, but this has been bugging me, especially for 5 months, as well as my 2 sons for 5 months. And I'm not going to listen to it anymore. I'm going to get this off my chest, and I'm going to squash it. And whatever happens, happens. Clear?
Okay.
All right. Another thing I'm going to state is that the tennis community is extremely small. One of the beautiful parts about the game that we play or are fans of or we coach is that everyone tends to eventually run into or bump into one another. Am I right or wrong, Carla?
Sure.
It doesn't matter if it's a dire enemy, if it's an opponent, if it's another coach, if it's a young player. you will eventually meet no matter where you are in the world if you are involved in the tennis community. Fact, right? Okay. About 5 months ago, here in the state of Alabama where we live, and I hope the internet doesn't cut off here. So
you're fine.
We were put in a lockdown situation. We couldn't go anywhere. Our kids, all 5 of them at this point, our oldest one went to college finally. But all 5 of us, our tennis lessons were null and void. We had no income. 5 kids inside. The inability to feed them really well throughout the day. Stuck here, as you can imagine, 5 young kids going nuts and bonkers. That's fine. It's part of the deal. I'm not complaining.
All of them were stuck anyways.
Okay. Everyone's stuck inside. And Carla and I made it a point that we wanted to do everyday shows during that time as a way, number one, for us to escape the stressful situation we were in, and still as part of our life, right? So we started doing everyday shows. At that point in time, there really wasn't much to talk about except the pandemic and so forth. So in our family, Carla, myself, Jonathan, Christopher, Liliana, Gabriella, and Justin Jr., we have always watched Jeopardy. We record all the shows. I think on our DVR we have something like 250 shows recorded. And we sit down at the dinner table and say our blessings, whatever, and we eat the dinner provided. And we turn on Jeopardy and we write down scores and we keep track of it. We have winners and someone can be crowned the champ, and we have a lot of fun with it. So one day, one of my children, actually it was my middle daughter, 11 years old, sat down at the table and she was like, "Dad, why don't you just make up some questions and have a Jeopardy show?" So we were like, "Okay, Lily, let's do that." So the next morning after dinner, we went to sleep that night, woke up the next morning. The 5 children, well, not the youngest one, but he was there, but 4 of us, and Carla and I sat down for 3 or 4 hours? 3 or 4 hours or something like that?
A lot of time on
we would spend hours and hours coming up with questions. So Jonathan and Chris and Liliana and Gabriella, they would write 7 or 8 questions and do their research. Most of theirs came out of their school books, just saying. And we put together a Jeopardy show. So about 10 days later after that show, a couple of the viewers out there, I won't name names because this is my responsibility. A couple of you send us personal messages, some emails, and some of them people that are kind of well into the game, company owners and so forth that watch the show and stay very active on YouTube and their daily lives and watch different things. So we started getting messages, "Hey, there's some kid out there that's doing exactly the same thing you are, maybe a little bit fancier, but it just seems like I'm watching the same thing, but kind of a goofier version." And I didn't pay it much attention. I was like, I don't care. I mean, we don't make money off of this. We worked hard for it, but nonetheless, I don't really care. So I would say, Carla, after about 3 months of time, we got maybe 30 or 40 messages or emails or comments on live shows that, hey, someone is actually just blatantly copying what you do. So I still squashed it. I still just, I don't care. I'm coaching, or when I'm not coaching because of the pandemic, I'm stressed. I don't want to deal with that right now. I just don't want to deal with it. I mean, Carla has been raised in the worst of places all over the world. You've lived in places, Carla, where people with machine guns have to stand outside and guard you, right?
Yeah.
5 years of my freedom I've lost for a stupid mistake. So I can promise you, I will not keep my mouth shut if it involves standing up for myself. And after I would say probably the 35th message I got last night over a period of 5 months, I heard it again. So I said, you know what? I was already in a pretty intense mood already. I won't get into why. I said, I'm going to watch this stupid thing. I'm going to watch it. So I turned this thing on, and oh my gosh, it was almost verbatim. Maybe it was a little fancier, but almost verbatim of exactly what my children and you and I worked on for 4 or 5 hours, okay? Now, first of all, what I want to do is show you a picture. So Carla's going to show you a picture number 1, and I want you to look at the picture. And then I'm going to show you 2 more pictures. And after this is done, I'm going to squash this shit, okay? I don't want to hear about it. If someone wants to, apologize or make an excuse, fine, bro. Do what you got to do. But I'm really not into some stupid, snooty shit. But here's the picture. Now, make sure it's clear. Now, this is a picture of Carla and I on April the 4th doing our first kind of Jeopardy thing, right? Okay, now you see the date? You see the date clear? Got it?
Okay.
Now, I did this research last night. It wasn't so apparent to me and how blatantly obvious it was until I went through this. Now, check your picture 2, and I want you to read the caption in the information field below it. Look at the date.
Again, you want me to show the same picture?
No, the next picture.
Oh, okay.
Shit just pissed me off, man. And I'm still pissed about it. But once I get off my chest, it's done. Now I want you to look at the picture. Look at the date. What does it say? April 14th? Now look below it. Can you read what's below that?
It's hard to. In our attempt to make a remote game show, I put GTL pods and knowledge to the test.
Okay. In our attempt to make a game show, you mean in our attempt to copy one. All right, now number 3, now show the last picture. I got pissed off last night. I left the message there personally with the original one. Now, do you want to read that?
Looks familiar. 10 days prior, we wrote and did the same exact thing. Come on, bro. First server you created, that's weak.
Okay. All right, we good?
Is that it?
Okay. All I'm going to say is this. The way we were raised is don't lie, don't steal, and don't cheat. If you do that, you're weak. Fact, we were raised that way, number 1. When I lost my freedom, almost 5 years of it, if I would have done any of those things, I would have been pounded in a back room by someone with a freaking mop. Fact, okay? Don't bullshit, don't lie, don't steal, don't cheat, don't step on anybody's toes, but damn sure don't step on mine, number 1. Number 2, I feel sorry for the guys in this video that probably had no clue that it was a copy. So for the guys, whoever the GTL people are, I'm really sorry about that, but your boy that put you on that was nothing but a copycat. Don't step on my toes. Leave it alone. If you want a confrontation, I'm in. I don't give a shit, but just leave us alone. Period. Okay? Does anyone want to come back at me at that?
Alex said, I really wish that channel didn't copy you guys. I really missed the Jeopardy.
Okay? We did it.
You know, I occasionally, like, some of you guys are on that, and I laugh. Some of you, like, really take that guy serious. I mean, this is a guy that was a tennis. I don't know him personally, but I've met many like him. This is a ex-tennis player who didn't make it, and looks like he lives in mama's house.
That doesn't even matter.
There's nothing wrong with that, but
everything that is wrong with.
But even like, doesn't Cam Williams do like he does he
copies him too.
He copies him too, and I'm like, holy crap.
Anyway, I'm gonna put it like this. This is a prime example of exactly what is wrong with American men's tennis. It is a bunch of snooty brats that have basically nothing more to do than make a mockery of the sport. Okay? It's a freaking sham. So I'm done being pissed. It's off my chest. We're not here to freaking cause confrontation, but I damn sure am not scared of it. That's fact. So again, I'm going to leave it at that. I sent a message directly. If you want to respond to that, that's okay. But I think in the tennis community, the best thing to do is to work together. How do we do that? By coming together. I think the proper thing could have been, hey man, I'll reach out to you. I like the Jeopardy. I think I can do it better. Do you mind or do you care? But instead it was some ploy to be secretive, not understanding that the tennis community all finds each other one day or another.
Yeah.
It shows immaturity. It shows lack of originality. It shows copycatness.
Oh, he hits with a lot of people. Yeah, I know that. Like I said, it's your typical American wannabe ex couldn't make it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Again,
it doesn't matter. I found it funny. He got mad. To me, I didn't.
Well, I didn't get pissed until last night until I finally watched it.
To me, it's just dumb.
Anyway, we'll leave it alone. But look, you don't get anywhere in life.
I didn't really care.
By being a copycat. You dig deep. You try hard. You network. You look out for your people. You hold it down. You fight. You go through ups and downs. You struggle. You don't chew food in people's faces.
Yeah, how do you guys watch it?
I mean, so all I'm saying is bro, you gotta grow up, man. You gotta grow up. So yeah, I called you out, but it pissed me off. And if you were in my shoes, I hope you'd be pissed off too. Don't mess with me, bro. Just stay the hell away from me. All right.
All right, let's go into
topic.
the real tennis news.
Let's go. First of all, we're going to start with another viewer comment. This viewer is not just a viewer. He's a really close friend of ours. He owns the company YTech Strings, which we play with exclusively. We were playing with the strings before the show. He just is happy to help us give out stuff for the fantasy teams, which I'll go over that at the end of the show, and as well the tennis racket giveaway. There is still someone alive, by the way. But Ivor Savage is a wonderful person, a wonderful tennis player, a wonderful coach, and is from South Africa but resides currently in Georgia. So he watched our last show and had a really good comment on behalf of Novak Djokovic. Now, again, Ivor is one of those guys that...
He's a Federer fan, by the way.
And he's one of those guys, too, that will, one day you'll see him, he'll be with Kevin Anderson, or, he'll be with... I mean, he's at the highest level of the game, and he's with a lot of the highest players in the game constantly. Mm-hmm. So he's a Federer fan, but still had something very good to say in relation to the Novak Djokovic incident. Can you read Ivor?
There's several. So I'll read the first one. He says, definitely worth a fine to be paid to the lineswoman, not the USTA, and game penalty.
Can you repeat that? I'm sorry.
Definitely worth a fine to be paid to the lineswoman, not the USTA, and game penalty. But why disqualified? That's just stupid overreaction, even if it's in the rule book. Have people forgotten the word accident means what the word accident means? Grow up, USTA. And then he says another one because there was another coach.
Yeah, there was
They were
people
going back and forth. So he says it was sloppy. It was very sloppy for Djokovic, and me personally hope he doesn't surpass Roger when it comes to majors. But in general, when it comes to the incident, I think it is extremely harsh to disqualify a player for an accident. Yes, then he goes on. Guys like Djokovic are pros, and yes, we should expect them to act like pros. But they are confined in a big box where the slightest move, word, gesture, etc. is magnified 1,000 times over and talked about on social media for months and years. So basically, we are asking them to act like robots, which is impossible if you are entering a competitive environment.
I mean, you can't argue with that. Here is a staunch Roger Federer backer and an international businessman who's a very kind soul. And here he says a very valid point of why that situation was exaggerated. Now, I don't want to beat a dead horse.
Here we have a student. She was in West Virginia, and she made a comment as well. And she's not for Djokovic, for Nadal, for Federer.
Yeah,
she just watches tennis.
Now let's introduce the student. The student that sent the message is not a young kid. She's a middle-aged young lady that started playing tennis with us as her coaches. And she's developed into a pretty decent little player.
Yeah.
Now, she went to, I think, Illinois.
But she was in West Virginia.
Yeah, West Virginia. I think her husband's from West Virginia. So, in West Virginia, whatever. And she doesn't even keep up with the game at all. I think she watches our show a little bit. Mm-hmm. And she came across an article in West Virginia and shared it with us. And her comment about that article was...
She said, I read a local headline this morning that implied Djokovic, quote, smash the ball at the official on purpose. That statement is ridiculous and the furthest thing from the truth. He was walking in the opposite direction. People, including media, needs to find something better to do than spread idle gossip with zero facts. For instance, anyone also read the response from John McEnroe stating that his error would follow Djokovic all the rest of his career? How absolutely absurd. Simply an accident, period. Not even slightly comparable to the self-important, ego-driven temper tantrums by McEnroe.
Also, today on the Tennis Channel, you had the likes of John McEnroe, Martina Navratilova, and every other broadcaster absolutely thumping him for not stopping and talking to the press on the way out.
First of all, Martina shouldn't even give her opinions with her affairs and all that other stuff she's done.
Yeah, Martina,
so she should be quiet
and
zip it up.
I think the two people that should shut up.
The morals in her life are questionable.
Yeah.
Just saying, not because of her personal choice, because of the affairs and stuff she's done.
Yeah, the first person that should shut the hell up is McEnroe, because what an idiot on the court, first and foremost. Number two, Martina is not a perfect... it doesn't have a perfect track record either. I won't get into that. That's not my business. But those are two people who should be the last people talking. Now, this is absolutely very common in periodicals right now that you pick up in the tennis world.
But then I also have something I didn't like. The lines judge, many articles, I went to her Instagram, Hitchhiker sent it to me. This poor lady is getting sent multiple disgusting messages. Her son died when he was 25 from a motorcycle accident.
Crushing.
And they're wishing the worst on her and mocking her son's death. They're calling her a drunk. She drinks alcohol. One comment that she has says, you can drink liters of alcohol, but cannot survive a small tennis ball? Bad acting. Shameless. Shameless on that person for writing that to her. We don't know how her neck felt. We're not in her shoes. It wasn't her decision. Why are we being mean to this lady? I mean, she didn't decide this. She was going to continue, but they told her she had to get off. I think it's a shame that a lot of these extremist Djokovic fans or whatever they are, sent nasty messages to this lady. I mean, even Novak sent a message saying, hey guys, please leave her alone. I have a picture of it, and I'm not going to quote it. I'm good. It's not her fault. We should be worried about the lines judge going to Europe. See you there. I mean, it's just terrible. People take it to the extreme. You would think this would be all news. Instead, we would be talking about the matches that happened.
I get we shouldn't say things. How do I say this from a Deuce perspective? Yeah, that's uncalled for, absolutely. But you ever been in a sports bar during like the Super Bowl or a pub during a boxing match? I mean, people are
hold
talking.
on, Michael Walker. It
People are
has
talking.
nothing to do that with she's gay. I'm talking about the fit. I have many gay friends. I don't care about that. I'm talking about she should be the last one. I mean, she defected from her country. She's always had drama in her life, unfortunately, because of the way, her personal choice, which that is her private life. She did have an affair, though, okay? I mean, she shouldn't be talking. No one is perfect, in other words. McEnroe was the last person. His marriage was garbage. He was into drugs. He had beat up certain people. I mean, he shouldn't talk. He's not the best example. That's my point.
Yeah, and that's the only point. This has nothing to do with orientation. We have very good friends to us that come and hang out with the kids that have a different orientation.
I don't care about that.
That's irrelevant. Wasn't even going there. I don't know where that came from or why it even came up.
Because I guess Michael Walker took it that way. I mean,
I don't
that's
know why.
what I'm talking about. I remember as a kid, her,
There's a little bias there or something. I don't know where that came from. There was no mention of that. And
she should know very well, Gene. Navratilova should have known how it feels to be judged.
Yeah.
Absolutely, because she went through this. I mean, she had to fight in the tennis community. I don't get it.
So, it's the old saying, there's a pot calling the kettle black. The damn pot's talking shit to the kettle, but they're both, colored black.
Yeah, Dark Knight says Serena and Novak have a lot in common. They're both destroyed by media every tournament they go to. It's true, they are destroyed.
Welcome back,
the
Dark
guy,
Knight.
Holy shit, the guy didn't want to talk after. I'm sorry, if someone pisses me off or I did something stupid, the last thing I want to do is show up my face and say, hey, yeah, and then ask a million questions. Well, did you do it this way? Did you think of this way? Did you think where that person was standing? Well, what triggered that? Was it because you quit here? Was it because, come on, guys.
Can I ask everyone a question out there? Does anybody know anything about football or rather the player Marshawn Lynch or the Seattle Seahawks? I love Marshawn, by the way. He's an electric player. I've always liked his game as a running back. But Marshawn was pushed to go to a press conference after the Super Bowl. And he didn't want to go. He's like, I don't want to talk to the damn press, but the team was going to find him, and the media was going to find him, and the NFL was going to find him if he didn't show up. So he goes to the press conference, he puts on his hat, he puts on his glasses, and he sits there. Every question that he was asked, he says, I'm here because I don't want to get fined.
And that's what Novak should have done.
I'm here because I don't want to get
fined. That's what he should have done.
Novak should have, and no, okay, before I talk about Novak,
he should have done that.
Now, is it true or not true that the entire U.S. Football fanhood, whether you're a Seahawks fan or not, the majority of them, for that matter, love Marshawn Lynch? So Djokovic doesn't want to talk, but they hate him. So I don't get it. There has to be.
He has the money for the fine, so that's okay. So does Djokovic.
Yeah.
Djokovic has the money.
Djokovic.
Well, he should have done that.
Djokovic.
He should say, "I'm here because I don't want to get fined. I'm here because." And Marshawn Lynch has the money too. I'm here because I don't want to get fined. And I would have kept going with the same thing and just be an asshole because people love assholes.
Yeah, fuck 'em, man.
People love assholes. The more asshole you are to people, they love you more.
And if you want to be an ass kisser and kiss a bunch of ass, then that's fine. But I wouldn't kiss any ass either. I just got to.
So Alex said, I read a lot of articles where they said the ball struck a line judge and it was flying 100 miles per hour. Wow.
Yeah. Man, she must have had a tracheotomy because she would have a hole in her throat. But yeah, it's all bullshit. And that's that. There's no way around it. Everything, I think, happens for a reason by design.
Ethan, I like your message. He said, as a gay man myself, I really have to laugh out loud the comparisons of homophobia, the judgment Martina has faced and judgment Novak has faced, but that's all I say. I'm just saying that she shouldn't. She should know. She went through a lot. We saw Martina go through a lot. She defected from her country. She got into a relationship which was questionable, which is her private life. People didn't accept her. Players made fun of her. They didn't want to be around her. Just like Billie Jean King. Same thing. I've seen the story, read the book, admired the lady. Same thing. I don't know why these people
speak out. And you grew up playing at her tennis center at the U.S. Open.
Yeah, I love Martina. I'm just saying, why judge somebody? You weren't in those shoes. It was a stupid mistake. Let it go. Done. The guy's not a killer. He's not O.J. Simpson. Just saying.
Yeah. People got to give it a rest. It happened. It's in the past. Move forward, but the stories are really thick.
But terrible for this lines judge to just get slammed like that. Poor lady. Can you imagine how she's feeling?
She probably feels like a rock in a hard spot.
If I were her, I'd get rid of her social media. Don't go on there. people threatening her life is crazy to me.
And don't you think she did want to continue? And don't you think there was a little inside job in these people's microphones and ears while this was going down? Hey, this is a good opportunity to get Djokovic out of here. You know, he's in direct competition with us. Let's get him out of here. Tell that lady she can't come back on the court. She's got to go, which will default him. Let's get him out of here. Let's get him gone. You can't tell me that it didn't happen. It happened. If you think not. It's just really naive, or you're really biased of another
Again,
fan.
he got fined. He got disqualified. Right decision. It took long. We talked about this yesterday. It was Federer and Nadal. The same thing. Those. I disagree with you on that. They didn't want to let him go, but they had to because then you're showing favoritism, and you can't show that. It's on TV. They replayed it a million times for the whole world to see that was watching tennis. And if you didn't disqualify him, then everybody would say, oh, it's special treatment. They had to do it.
Yeah, I think there was some whispering and some microphones and their earpieces there. And maybe I'm a conspiracy theorist on that one, and maybe some agree and some disagree. But I can guarantee you, at least in my opinion only, again, opinions are like, you know what, everybody's got one. But my opinion is that a time in which they're discussing, there's some ears and microphone pieces, and they're discussing how they're going to get this guy out of there. That's my opinion, and you can disagree all you want, but, whatever. That's my thoughts.
Michael Walker Novak has done it a few times, and I've said it to you guys in the beginning. He throws rackets. Anybody who throws rackets, who smashes a racket, who hits a
all the players do it.
You are all in. Look at Kenan last night playing, going. I mean, don't you? Obviously, they're not thinking at that moment. They're upset. They're upset, so they're slamming things. They're throwing things. I mean, you got to be a little bit careful. It happens.
All right, let's take some comments on that.
Let's see. Okay. William Chia says, by the way, they do not need to quarantine from the U.S. Open to Italian. Okay,
good news.
I think, Ethan, you sent me something today about the French Open, and I'm sorry, I don't think it's personal. I'm just going to read. You gave me some information about the French Open. You said, did you hear the French Open will have fans, but will still confine players to the hotels? Kind of stupid when players like Serena have their own apartment.
Well, I mean, don't hate on her for that.
He's not hating. Listen. Did you hear French Open will have fans, but will still confine players to the hotels?
Yeah.
So you're going to have fans, but you're going to confine the players to the hotel. How does that make sense?
Well, I don't think there's, for the article or whatever, I don't think there's any need to mention Serena's apartment.
Well, he said, but there's going to be people like Novak. They're going to have their own place. Nadal going to have their own place.
And that's fine. They earned it. They earned it. And they have the money to do it.
But I don't think that's where he's going. In other words, the rules make no sense.
Well, yeah, I understand that. But I just, it's kind of like, Novak Djokovic at the U.S. Open. He didn't want to be in this, confined area, and he got a house, and people gave him grief for that. It's not his fault he can afford a $40,000 rental. I mean, if he can do it, don't play a hate. Just applaud and congratulate and move forward.
So we know Barty's not playing the French Open. I'm sure there'll be a few other players. I'm glad they don't have to quarantine. I thought Wayne Chi told me you had sent me a message that cases were rising there. I don't know.
Where? In France?
Yeah.
I've heard the same thing.
So I don't know. What's gonna happen.
I really think as the cooler temperatures start to set in the northern hemisphere, anytime someone gets a common cold or something like that, you know what the numbers are going to do. So I think you're going to see a lot of that increase moving into the meat of the fall. I think Jonathan, our oldest son, is getting snow today in Colorado, believe it or not.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty cool.
Ethan, yeah, I agree with you. They should be able to stay where they can. I mean, I don't think it's safer to be in a hotel because there's a lot of germs. There's employees and stuff. So.
Ventilation systems being shared.
Yeah, so I would think it would be smarter to stay at your own place, like an apartment. I agree.
Yeah, similar to being on an airplane. You've got a shared ventilation system. You got vents running through the ceiling. These microbes travel and so forth.
What's up, this guy?
So I think it's probably smarter to do so. So that's just my thoughts.
B-Dog says non-athletes talking about sports. In real competitive sports at a highest level, stuff happens. Djokovic paid. She will be paid. It's all good. Thank you, B-Dog. We said this before.
Tell them, bro.
Michael Walker says, in other words, Serena says she wants to stay at her apartment in Paris, so how can you have fans, but she can't stay in her own apartment? I'm sure they're going to let her stay in their own apartment. I'm sure. U.S. Open did. They allowed it.
Yeah, I mean, every tournament has different directors and different rules, and every state and government and county, everything's different. So, we can assume one thing, but generally there's something at the state, local, or government level that is reining in on what something's doing, right?
B-Dog said the common cold in France will be COVID-19.
Exactly. That's exactly right. So, and I think that's going to be pretty much indigenous to the globe as a whole. I mean, I'm assuming, and again,
doesn't flu season come up releasing here?
Right about mid-September, early October, depending on where you are. The further north, the cooler it's going to be. Again, Jonathan, our oldest son, is at the Air Force Academy now, and he's got snow falling now, and it's still very early in September.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, with cold weather, people get sick because they're acclimated to the warmer weather. And
what's up, sister the queen? So she says the French is saying there will be no exceptions. So everyone has to stay at a hotel. Is that a fact? Anyone? Can they tell me? Fact check. I know a lot of you guys are good at looking up this stuff.
When is it that I should know this? But when is it that the French starts? And it's like 3 weeks away, 2 weeks away.
After the U.S. Open, isn't there Italian and then there'll be the French Open?
Yeah. So it's what, 3 weeks away?
Yeah, I guess so. Why are they? Jean says why they're allowing fans. They want risk people getting sick. Not saying they will, but play smarter. French Open, please. Well, I don't know. That's a fact. Michael Walker saying so they won't be allowed to have their own apartments.
I mean, I think that everyone has different feelings on this entire thing. I mean, there's people that we know very well. So I'll just talk about people we know. There's people that we know that don't believe any of the stuff. They think it's all just some type of conspiracy to keep people isolated for whatever reason.
I don't think it's a conspiracy. I just think numbers are played
around. I'm not saying that either.
People get sick.
But we know very respectable, very successful, in this sense, a couple of physicians think that way. They're actually doctors.
They do think
in
that
the
way.
medical field that actually are with patients, like in operating rooms, like surgeon type, orthopedic type doctors that just absolutely state that this is an absolute sham. The testing kits that their nurses use are hit or miss. There's no finite positives that can be assured. So they believe it's bullshit, and not me, but there are people that think that way. Now there's other people out there that won't even still go outside. So it's a double-edged sword. I don't know who's right or who's wrong, but the world is affected as a whole.
B-Dog says, keep the athletes away from the careless fans. We'll keep athletes from catching anything. Smart move. Fans will wear masks too. Well, yeah.
So, everybody yelled at Novak for having the Adria Tour. So what is now? Everybody going to yell at the French Open?
We'll see.
So
stay tuned.
So all the haters that diss Novak for his Adria Tour, there's going to be, if they're having fans at the French, they're going to have, 10 times more fans? So, someone's got to yell at them now, right?
Dark Knight says French Open should have people sign a waiver to attend if they get sick. I'm sure they will. They do it at the junior tournaments. They make you sign a waiver if you get sick. That's on you.
At every junior tournament we play, when you walk in, you sign your student in or your son or daughter, and there's a waiver. It will state anything that happens on the court is your responsibility. If you fall, get hurt, get sick, you have zero responsibility, and you must sign it 2 places and then turn it in, or you are not allowed to play.
Okay, so Michael Walker said Roland Garros will allow 5,000 people on center court. It holds 16,500. So that's pretty spread out. That will be pretty spread out.
I mean, there's really no way, though, you're going to spread out 5,000 people safely. That's still a lot of folks.
Look, man. Okay, I'm going to say something here. Kids here are not going to school. They're doing it online. But across the bay, they are. And it seems like everything's going well.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I mean, there's different rules between where we live and across a small body of water. So our kids are still here, all in there doing schoolwork now, except the 4-year-old. But if you drive 20 minutes across the bay or take the ferry across the water, they're in school, and there's no problems.
No problem. When Chia says New York is doing much better than Paris, I can imagine many players will have to exit because of the virus. Well, we just saw Mladenovic and Babos. They didn't have it, but they were close to somebody that did. So they were disqualified, which was a shame for them.
Yeah, I mean, they were
a
really solid doubles team.
Yeah,
weren't they like the
number one
top seed? Yeah,
they won the Australian. Nikolai Kostic said of France, football matches are playing with fans with limited number.
By the way, Nicola, you are in the top of the fantasy team. I'll do that at the end so people that don't play don't have to listen. But stick around for the end, Nicola, Stefan, if you're out there, and a lot of you others. Anyway, sorry to deviate there.
Hitchhiker says the French Open just wants the ticket money. They just want the dollar.
Well, you can't blame them for that.
You can't blame them, man. How many people are struggling?
Didn't they just build a roof there? I'm surely they have the capital to fund it. But the question is the capital liquid? Is it cash in the bank, or is it simply assets that allow them to have more credit? Surely it's probably the latter. So the roof, I don't know how much it costs. So what did the U.S. Open roof cost? Something like $60 million or something. Anyway, the roofs aren't cheap. I don't think they can probably get the bankers off of their backs without having some fans there. And I think that ties into it as well. Plus, you want to showcase your new roof. What better way to do it than put 5,000 fans into there?
Yeah. Alex Couillard, B-Dog said 2 months ago that things were different with COVID. America's behind the world in control. Okay. Hitchhiker disagrees. He doesn't think that the COVID is a conspiracy. I don't think so either.
Yeah, I don't. I mean,
I just
I
think
agree
the
with
numbers
you.
are played around with.
Yeah, we don't think it is either. Now, again, there are some very reputable physicians here.
But he says the politicians are covering their asses.
Well, and the numbers tend to be off. We've told you a story before. I won't beat a dead horse, but we know someone that actually went to a testing place.
So they didn't build a roof, Michael Walker. They built a totally new stadium with a roof. He said.
Even better, even more money.
Even more money.
Great knowledge drop, Mike. That's a great knowledge drop. Didn't know that. I thought they threw a roof on top of it. That's incredible, though. I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, we had a friend that went and signed up and showed up to an appointment to have a test, but she finally had to go. She had to go get her kids or something, so she left, but still got a positive test result in the mail, and she never even took the test. Anyway, so there's some possibility that the numbers aren't necessarily accurate.
Yeah, let's talk about the matches then. We watched last night's match. Serena beat Sakari. I think we did the show before that. She was playing at that.
We were watching Cam Williams' show.
We were watching Cam.
Yeah, and that was afterwards. So, it was. I think the first set was going on, and then we finished, and then went in and watched his.
Okay. So the men's match sucked last night. By the way, Tiafoe got his ass beat by Medvedev and I know Ethan, you sent me the picture with him with the little birdie point, with the birdie, but it was like a joke, he was saying, "Screw you, you're too good, man." So he threw him the middle finger up, I have the picture, but I'm not going to show it. But he destroyed him 6-0 in the third. Felix Auger-Aliassime was a one-sided first set, was competitive, and then after that TM was just too much for him.
The hard part is playing at an extremely high level for multiple hours, and that's what makes the majors different than 2 out of 3 sets. Is you might be hot for a little while, but can you do it forever? And that's why Djokovic has been so very successful. It's because he can do it for Look, last night, if you watched the Victoria Azarenka match, by the way, we have to turn the volume down to watch it, but
I didn't.
Azarenka played really, 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 really well. Her shot percentage, by the way, was extremely based upon the outsides of the court. So there was a graphic on the show afterwards, and only 7% of her ground strokes were up the center of the court. So split the other 97 or 93%. Moving your opponent left and right, and that's what she was able to do. So Azarenka, if she can continue to hit 93% of her shots outside of the center of the court, that means she's going to be dictating play. Now, whether she can do that in her next match, I don't know. She plays Mertens.
That's going to be a tough match. Mertens got rid of Kenin like that. She was on fire. Yeah. She was not missing. Sorry, big dog, your girl went down. He likes Kenin.
I don't like Kenin just because she acts like
I think that if I could say something about her, she needs to slow down when she's walking.
She plays fast.
She's like, she's too fast. Slow down. You're losing. Slow it down. You have to slow down your opponent. She was going too fast. I like what Azarenka said. She said, I saw my opponent hurt. Muchova, I didn't know that. I thought I was saying Muchova. Muchova is actually what he said.
She's a respectable player.
She's a very respectable player. She said, I saw that she was hurt, but in my head, I told myself that I was going to be here for 3 hours if I had to be.
She said she would stay here. She would have stayed out there all night if she had to. Second of all, you can tell Azarenka has become not only has she a great player, multiple major slam winner, but she's become a really good student of the game. I wish she could get the squealing out, but anyway. But she was talking last night, talking about angles of movement on the court. We tell our students, all of them, especially our advanced junior students, that if we're on the court and we're running laterally, left to right, left to right, left to right, generally we're going to meet the ball late or it's going to get beside us. We want to move in as a V or a V going backwards defending, so kind of an X pattern, right? So Victoria Azarenka not only was doing that, but also explaining that. So when you hear a player developing and they've been around for a while, they get older, they have children and so forth, and they're starting to talk about patterns on court movement, my shot percentages inside and outside of the court. I see coaching in her future.
Yeah, and she speaks well. Great interview.
Yeah.
You could tell she wanted to get teary. She was excited. She said she made a video when this whole thing started and everyone was confined to their home. She made an 8-minute video and she never looked at it. She was really down, really sad. And she said, I haven't looked at it, but I will. She's like, I'm in a different state of mind now. She's like, I'm happy. I love playing tennis.
She's seen some struggle.
She's seen, well, obviously when you have to struggle with an ex
and a
fighting
child,
who's going to get the child stuff, that's tough enough. And she was facing top-ranked players in the first round, so she wasn't able to get deep into the main draw. This is a great opportunity for her. I think she has the tougher match though compared to Serena and Pirinkova. I think Serena will take Pirinkova in 2 sets. Pirinkova played well. The only reason I say that is because she's got her whole leg wrapped. She's not 100%. She's played a lot of tennis. Leave that alone, Lily. She's played a lot of tennis. So you could see her leg is wrapped. She went to 3 sets. I know Serena did too, but she looks fresher. So I think it's going to slow her down a bit. Serena, by the way, she played well in that 3rd set. She took it to Sakkari. Sakkari got nervous because she was dunking a lot of balls in the net. But Serena got fired up and she was screaming, and I was happy she won. I was like, yes.
Do you think Pirinkova is a better player than Sakkari?
No.
You don't?
No.
See, I think
Sakkari's improved. It got in her head. I knew it would. No, I don't think so. I watched that Cornet match in Pirinkova. The pace was a lot slower. A lot slower.
Sakkari
and Serena were hitting.
Sakkari has gotten better, but she can still get better. Pirinkova's no slouch. Been around. She's not going to be intimidated by Serena at this point. I don't think anybody is anymore, for that matter. I think every player knows that she's beatable. I think Azarenka, if she gets a chance to play Serena has to be careful here because of what I just said. If she's hitting 93% of her balls outside the center of the court, on the backhand or forehand wings, that means Serena's going to be moving on 93% of the balls. So, she looks fit. She seems to be. But what happens after we have children? Carly, you've had 5 of them. We can still get down. We can still move. But sometimes it's hard to keep the energy up for too terribly long. She did that yesterday with Sakkari, and it was a great win. But I don't know.
But Pirinkova is not going to give her.
I'm talking about Azarenka. I think she'll get through the Pirinkova match, but I think if she has.
Azarenka has a tough test with Mertens.
I think
Mertens was hitting pretty solid, deep, everything back. I like the strategies that these ladies have now. And I used it with one of our students today. I said, let me try it. Usually when I return, I try to go for angles. A lot of the ladies, when you had a hard serve coming to you, they would return immediately back to the middle to their bodies. So the player had to move out of the way, and now you're hitting off your back foot, which gave you a short shot to put away. I thought, great strategy. Well, and a lot of them were doing that.
It's an age-old tactic.
But no, it's not. You see it a lot more. Before you would see a return in an angle, to the backhand side or cross court. But more people are going towards the middle because it takes time away from the server. How many times did we see Serena go, wow, pa, great serve? And then Sakkari would take it right to her, and Serena would be off her back foot. Yeah. So it would kind of defeat the whole purpose of serving hard. See what I mean?
Well, it's a safer. It's a more consistent shot going to the body generally, especially up the middle of the court, because the low part of the net. It's not necessarily the shortest part of the court, depending on where you're standing. It's tougher to, and tennis, it's all about happy feet. So it's really tough to get going in one direction or immediately change and go into the other direction. So that's why a lot of times people, instead of hitting the winners of the open court, they'll go right behind them, even if they're just almost near the ball, but if their feet are pointing the other way. And this is kind of the same tactic with going to the body. Now you need to hit a big shot going to the body, because if you don't hit a big shot,
it has to be deep.
Then they can come around it.
Yeah.
But it has to put pressure. It needs to be deep, land at the feet or close to the baseline with some authority. And it can be deadly because the player doesn't have the time to step out of the way, to split step, and then step into the ball. So it's a great tactic, but unfortunately, I disagree with you saying it's new. We trained doing that as a kid.
No, but we didn't use it as much.
Maybe not in women's
Everything
tennis.
Changes, just like the open stance. Before you were told, don't hit it. Now everybody does it. I'm just saying it's a better strategy. Even Thiem was doing that to Felix when he was serving. Before, you would see more angles. Now they're hitting it to their feet so they can set up, come in, and put the ball away.
Yeah.
It's just shortening up the points. I'm reading the comments about the bun. I'm sorry. Sakkari with the bun looks ugly. She needs to let her hair down, okay? She looks too manly. You guys asked a question yesterday about who was fitter. Serena, definitely, back in the days. Sakkari has all top, all muscle here, but the legs are skinny. There is no big, thick legs like Herbert.
I think her quads and hamstrings look all right, but she could use
She's
some
not strong down there.
She's built up top, and she has the big quads.
And someone
big
needs to teach her how to walk, because she walks like Super Mario. It's like
Super Mario.
It looks like something stuck up her butt. It's just weird.
Wow.
I'm sorry. You know how you have bodybuilders?
Ooh, that was rough.
You know how you have women bodybuilders and they can't quite move their hips, like most girls do. It's just very.
Something stuck up her butt. Man, I haven't heard that. That's the first.
Actually, you said.
I said something worse, but I can't say that on the show. But
I
I wasn't pertaining to her though.
The top is like, and it's like she doesn't move the bottom. It looks like something stuck on her butt. She's trying to hold it. I don't know.
All right, moving forward. Let's call them out.
She doesn't look like a gymnast. Gymnasts have legs, Sister to Queen. Their thighs are like boom, boom. I'm not saying she's not strong.
I can see why she says that though.
She get the top from here to here, and then the bottom is small. That's why I said Serena's way stronger. I mean, even Herbert's
I think
stronger.
Sister to Queen's kind of on.
Not like Tiafoe's walk. He looks like he has something up his butt too.
Man, you guys are crazy. I'm glad I'm not saying that. If I said that, I would get destroyed. I'm glad she is.
Random Chia said, yes, the walk matters. When I said she looked good, she was sitting down. The hair was...
I think she was eating.
Michael Walker said, Carla, you're wrong. She has strong legs.
She does. She
has strong legs, but they're not... Her top is not proportioned to the bottom. In other words, you know how some dudes, some bodybuilders, they're like huge up here, and then they got the strong, skinny... it's not proportioned. She doesn't have hips. She doesn't have a feminine...
See, I disagree. I do. Carla gets mad at me because I think she's hot. Carla will knock everybody until I say she's hot.
I swear, you look at Kerber,
and then she doesn't like him.
Kerber doesn't look like a dude. She's solid all the way.
But Sakari's way prettier than Kerber.
What?
You think Kerber's a gorgeous thing?
Yeah.
She's got a great figure, but
her face is beautiful.
Disagree.
Absolutely. And I'm not saying Sakari's ugly. I'm just saying she's got to get
I don't like blondies anyway, and I like dark skin, so...
Monda says, my girlfriend slammed me yesterday because I created Venus muscular legs. Or craved. Craved, maybe?
Venus?
Really?
Venus has... Okay, I don't know about that one. I do understand what you mean.
Leave her alone. He said something worse yesterday that had us all laughing. We're not going to say it here.
But I wasn't pertaining to Sakari.
No, you were referring to Azarenka's grunt.
Oh, yeah. I said that Azarenka squealed like she had something shoved up her butt without lubricant. That's what I said. I don't think it, this isn't a kid's channel.
Said elephant.
Oh, an elephant. Okay. Anyway.
Oh, anyways. Yeah, Venus has long, lean legs. I mean, she's a tall... He said, oh, sorry, Serena. He meant Serena. Okay.
Anyway.
Michael Walker said Tiago has a high butt.
He does.
He can't help how he looks.
He does have a high butt.
Let me tell you, he's strong, though.
Yeah.
He is strong. Too bad his game is not fluid.
Yeah,
be more
and look, Tiafoe's a good dude, too.
So much hating. We're not hating. We're just laughing. It's all giggles here.
Tiafoe seems like a good dude. Never been around him and never met him, but he just seems like a fun guy. His forehand needs work, though. I mean, I know he can rip it, but this whole thing is just so robotic, and I think it can be more compact and clean, but I like Tiafoe.
B-Dog says, Kerber's cute, Sakari's alright, but she has a 12-year-old body. Thank you.
Okay.
I just said that, and that's why I wasn't trying to be mean. Okay, you said it best. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, you got it.
Tiafoe beat Carlos Guy Ironman. He has to be good, laugh out loud.
Yeah,
he's good, but he wasn't good enough for Medvedev. Medvedev was too much.
Medvedev destroyed him.
Ivankova had a good question. Would it be hypocritical from Nadal to play Roland Garros with cases in France going up while he did not want to play the U.S. Open because of the same reason?
That's a good point.
Absolutely.
I never thought about that.
We all know why he didn't come to the U.S. Open. Novak was playing. 1, 2. I mean, he doesn't have the biggest chance. He has a bigger chance in France because he didn't want to quarantine.
That's the reason.
Yeah.
He didn't want to have to do 2 weeks of quarantine prior to a tournament that he's going to be a heavy favorite to do. Hence why, Novak came here, and hence why it's just a sham that what happened occurred. We won't get back into that. But that's why. But that's a great question. That's a great point.
All right. So what's the next? Brady Putin-Seva. You guys said Brady's up. Obviously, we're doing the show, so I can't see the match. And who's the other person?
And I hope Brady wins that. Good for her to be here.
Osaka versus Rogers. Do we think Rogers is going to give her a competitive match?
She could take a set, but I think Osaka will go through her. I think maybe 2-3, something like that. I may be wrong. That's just a guess. But I think you'll see Osaka cruise there. Brady, I think, has a real good shot against potty mouth Putin-Seva. Brady's been playing well. A couple of you, by the way, at the end of the show, I'm going to do a quick fantasy team update. There's not many of you left, so if you're playing, stay tuned. There is someone alive for the tennis racket we're giving away, too, as well.
Oh, yeah, she's up 6-3, 5-2.
Who is?
Brady.
Yeah, so good for her. So Putintseva, again, I love her game. I think she's feisty. She's kind of like Carla. She digs in, and even if she's down, she'll be like, "What? Come on," But I don't care for the way that how she talks all this stuff. She got really bad court conduct. Let's just put it that way. Make a long story short.
Gene, I don't know who's the sexiest male player of all time. I don't know.
Some people say Dimitrov. Some people have said Dimitrov.
I like a lot of guys.
How about Edberg?
I like Edberg. To me, is the most elegant man
Stefan
that I've
Edberg?
ever seen play tennis.
See?
I mean, just elegance, and he's like in his 50s?
Yeah.
And he is still elegant.
Can you pick up another like?
I like Iron Man just because he's strong. I don't think he's elegant.
All right.
Who's the guy that retired that I loved that played against Nadal in the final? Oh my God, I can't believe I forgot his name.
Ferrero?
No, not Ferrero. He was European.
Soderling?
Definitely not.
You said
Soderling.
in final.
There was a finals in Wimbledon that Nadal won. He just retired. Tall guy.
Berdych?
Berdych. I loved
Let's
Berdych.
go.
I loved Berdych.
Berdych, one of the greatest players to have never won a title. He had his opportunity. He had the surface too.
Edberg looks better than Redford. Definitely. Those are my type of guys. I love Pospisil. Like I saw his face, I was like, cute.
She likes that guy off of Gladiator. What's his name?
Gladiator.
The guy that acts the actor.
You mean 300, Gerard Butler.
Gerard
But he
Butler.
doesn't play tennis.
But who's the guy on Gladiator?
Russell Crowe? Nah.
Thought that you liked that guy too?
Hell no.
I can't keep them all straight. If I like one
Safin,
girl,
Safin was the sexiest
that's a good
and
one.
the toughest one.
Marat Safin, yeah. I wonder if Marat Safin took any shit from anybody.
He's still single, by the way, girls out there.
Uh-oh.
He'll never be married.
Uh-oh. He's a player.
Isn't he a politician now?
What did Tupac say? What did he say?
Federer is best looking tennis player ever. Hitchhiker. He looks like the Cabbage Patch Kid.
Who?
Federer. He's not good looking.
I don't think Federer's
he's not
super
good looking. No.
I mean, he's all right. I don't think he's like the.
Borg was good looking.
Yeah,
Borg definitely had the looks for sure.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Sorry I missed the beginning. Did you already discuss about potential T and Medvedev half final? Who will win in your opinion? We did kind of.
Well, yeah, we'll get there.
Federer has hairy legs. Agree. No.
But just watch it from the beginning. We had a good conversation all the way through. All right, so the hottest female player.
Federer isn't oil paintings.
Yeah, right?
Nah.
Nah.
And even Nadal, I love Nadal, but I can't say he's the best looking dude either. No.
Well, when he pulls his wedgie out of his ass,
it kind of turns you.
I mean, it kind of.
Thiem is not bad. By the way, Thiem with his little girly, and I told this to B-Dog, I don't understand why he wears that girly headband.
Yeah, it's like
he looks like one of the soccer girls.
Yeah, soccer. It's a soccer headband for girls.
Oh wait, how is his grunt?
His grunt has gotten worse, by the way.
Man.
His grunt is quite powerful. Who is he playing?
Hairy leg is a true sign of true men.
Really? Okay. I don't have hairy legs. All my body hair is blonde, so you can't see it. So I never really had to worry about it.
Federer has an elegant personality.
Yes,
he's elegant personality. There you go.
go.
That's why people might overlook his looks, because he's elegant.
So his overall package is good.
And Ivanovic was one of the most beautiful.
There you go. Who said that?
Very beautiful tennis player. Gene Schwartz.
Gene Schwartz, I agree with you totally. In my opinion, this is just my opinion, I think Ana Ivanovic, the Serbian player, she won a French Open. I think she's the most beautiful tennis player I've ever seen. I
have to agree
Carla,
with that.
if
I agree with that, actually.
She's gorgeous.
Another one that I always say is, she has a terrible attitude. She played against Osaka, got killed.
Who?
I call her doll face.
Georgie?
She has a doll face.
Yeah, she's cute, I guess. But if Ana Ivanovic is gorgeous.
Yes.
Georgie.
Dementieva. Yes.
Yeah,
Dementieva was very beautiful. I thought she should have won a slam.
She came close.
Yeah.
Dementieva
She lost to Kuznetsova one time, and then this Russian tennis player who only won one slam. I forgot her name.
Now, my second favorite all time, you guys might laugh, but it's Sabine Lisicki. You remember Lisicki? Lisicki was hot to me. I was like, what?
Maria Karolenko was so hot. I don't remember her face.
You have to pull up a picture.
Maria Sharapova is the best looking tennis player. Disagree. Beautiful, but disagree.
Some people would say without a doubt. Again, for me, blondies aren't my thing, except Lisicki. I like Lisicki a lot, but she's built like Carla. So I see like just this package of just boom, and I get down like that. So Lisicki,
I'm trying to remember her.
Lisicki, I'll put up there.
All right. Well, let's go on to the men's matches. Like I said, Thiem destroyed Rublev.
All right, real quick.
Tiafoe got destroyed.
Just to finish the women's, Brady, Putintseva. Who you got?
Brady's
already winning.
I'm sure Brady won.
Osaka Rogers, you got Osaka. Pirakova, Serena, you took Serena. Azarenka, Bertens.
I'm pulling for Azarenka. Brady just won. So,
all right, there you go. Let's go.
Good for her. For her first semifinal. Men's.
Rublev Medvedev.
By the way, these two guys played each other as juniors. They know each other very well. At the end, when Rublev beat Berrettini, yes. By the way, what's up with that ponytail Berrettini has?
He's going it out. I'm going on my out
He said,
too.
"Vamos," because he was born in Russia but moved to Spain and trained there.
Who did?
Rublev.
Oh, I think you said Berrettini.
No.
Oh, you were talking about a ponytail?
Yeah. Did you notice the ponytail on Berrettini?
It looked like he was a little more scruffy.
He was very hairy.
Yeah,
I wanted to tell him, "You gotta shave, dude. You gotta shave. It's too much. You gotta be like Fognini."
You think Fognini's hot?
No, I'm just saying be clean.
Not to say.
No, I don't think so. He cleans himself at least good.
All right, he's silky smooth. Okay.
He's silky smooth.
He's silky
yeah.
smooth. I still think he's a cocky prick.
Sabatini, yep.
That's another one.
Jean Schwartz, sorry, not Jankovic. No.
Yankovic has her own, another Serbian girl. Yankovic has her own look that's unique. She's a beautiful girl. I still think Ivanovic is prettier, but I think Ivanovic or Yankovic is very, very beautiful in her own way. I saw her in Miami one year, and she was very beautiful.
What's Cajun guy 1950? What's 31/2? What does that mean?
What is it?
31/2. I don't get what that means.
Okay, 31-2. I don't know what it means either.
Yeah, Lucifer. I have to go. Yelena Yankovic. No.
She's all right.
Amanda Kutsier was beautiful. Yes, she was this little lady. You don't remember her, do you?
Mm-mm.
She used to play against Steffi Graf. She was from South Africa. Very beautiful lady.
There you go. Knowledge drop from South Africa.
Martina Hingis. She got better, I think, as she got older.
Yeah, Martina Hingis has also went through her struggles and strikes.
Same with Monica Seles. When she came out on the tour, she was kind of fugly. She got better when she retired. You know, her hair's nice now. She's in shape. She looks better now. She looks elegant.
Oh, I'm saying then.
But Sabatini, nobody beats her. The lady's
Ivanovic does.
The lady's 50. No, even Ivanovic now, look at her now. She looks older.
Oh,
she looks dry.
I'm speaking then.
You see Sabatini now, she's still elegant.
She's still beautiful, yeah. We named our middle...
Hanchikova, yes.
Yeah, we named our youngest of two daughters.
Sohan is silky smooth.
Who is?
Sohan.
Silky smooth. That's where I got that from, actually.
Yeah.
Isn't it Zohan the...
You know Adam Sandler?
Yeah. My favorite actor.
Oh, 31-2 betting odds.
On who?
On who? Cajun guy. That's what he's saying.
That's cool. That's some intense odds. I mean, wow, 31-2.
All right. So what's the next match?
All right.
Dimanor and Tiem. You would think Tiem would take that.
Oh, you're going over yesterday's matches.
No, I'm looking at this.
Oh, we didn't talk about Rublev Medley. You talked about Berrettini.
Oh yeah, but I said they know each other's games very well. Medvedev is up on him 2-0.
Okay, well I think Medvedev will roll here.
I think Medvedev will win.
Rublev, by the way, the rise of Rublev, I think is a very good possibility. Rublev is no damn slouch. I think Rublev could get a set. He could possibly win, but I doubt it. Medvedev looks sharp.
Yeah.
Dimanor and Tiem. This has the potential to be a really good knockout or a really good prize fight. Tiem, I think, wins it. Tiem, I think this tournament is really kind of his to win at this point. I don't want him to, but he needs to because he's been so close. It's on his racket. Medvedev would like to have something to say about that. I don't think Karena Busta or Shapovalov, Coric or Zverev has the firepower to beat Medvedev or Tiem. Yeah, the two strongest guys are on this side. For sure. And don't forget about Coric. I still think Shapovalov's a little bit too risky. He jumps at the one-hander a lot to make the highlight reel. If you jump at the one-hander, I hit it. Throughout my career, I've jumped and hit it. But at the same time, Tiem has more weapons. I agree. Yeah, I would say he has more weapons. Yeah, I would say about 70% of the time, at least when I would try to jump and hit off the bottom of the sweet spot, off the bottom of the frame, shank it to the stands, whatever. I don't know how he pulls it off. It's really cool to see, but at the same time, coolness doesn't necessarily win matches. Someone here said Nicole Vajasova was hot. Well, she was, but then Stepanek sucked the life out of her. Why she ended up with that guy? Who, Radek? Stepanek. His first name's Radek. Yeah, ugly dude. Looked like a vampire. I've always heard around the locker room scene that Radek's a really good guy, though. Well, they got divorced, and I think they got back together. You guys looks like a vampire. Okay, I've got a trivia question, and this isn't hopefully to be copied. Oh, he said Federer speaks 31 and a half languages. 3.5 languages, I think is what you mean. So here's a trivia question. Hold on, don't interrupt for a second. So here's a trivia question. Does everyone remember Radek Stepanek? I hope you do. There was a point in his career where he played with a racket that it was like shaped like this. Can anyone tell me the brand of that racket? Huh? Have you ever seen Radek Stepanek play with an irregular shaped headed racket? It was shaped kind of like this. It wasn't circular or oval. It was like... You don't remember the racket? Can you pull up Radek Stepanek's odd racket? Does anyone know the answer to that? And I think there was a couple other players that played with it too. Stepanek's odd-shaped racket. Look. And it hit images. But you didn't put odd-shaped racket. But he played with one. You have to hit an odd shape.
Here it is. Here it is.
Is that it? Okay, there you go. Boom. So if you haven't seen it, I don't know if it tells you the brand there. I didn't know the answer to it either. That's why I asked you. But he played with a rather interesting racket for a while. He did damage with that too. He could play. Anyway, I don't know the answer to it, but I just was curious.
Okay, I'm trying to look at it, what it is.
I can't even tell you what the stencil is.
Racket brand.
All right, dead time. Don't worry about it.
All right.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
All right.
It's interesting racket. Check it out. I think Navratilova played with it.
Bosworth.
Bosworth, yeah, with the big B.
Someone said Bosworth.
There you go.
Okay.
Great call. All right. Anything more? I think TM will meet Medvedev in the semis. That's just, common sense, I guess. This has been an interesting tournament, so we'll see. I think the winner of the tournament will come through the semifinals on this side of the draw. On the other side of the draw, I hope that Coric comes through. That's my hope.
I definitely don't want to see Zverev win a set.
Yeah, I don't want to see
He just
Zverev
doesn't
in it.
deserve it.
Yeah,
sorry.
he's just...
I think the other guys work a lot harder.
All right, we're going to do a quick fantasy team update.
Go for it.
All right, we'll continue to take your questions, but for those people playing fantasy team, there are 7 people that are leading. The people leading are JMP 1966 with 60 points and 11 people out. Milena Brzezinska has 64 points and 12 people out. Sergin Jovanovic has 62 points and 10 people out. Dead Seville, Casper, a.k.a. What's Up in Poland, 65 points and 10 out. Kenneth Chow has 64 points and 10 out. Nikolai Kostic has 65 points and 11 out. And Stefan Nizovic, what's up, has 68 points and 11 out. So all of those people, remember there will be 2 winners, all those people are really at the head of the list. Now there are 5 people still in the hunt mathematically, and a lot of you have the Brady person that's worth 2 points. So these people are still in the hunt, but on the outside looking in for sure. Curling tennis, 52 points, 11 out. Alex Couillard, 54 points, 11 out. Looney Vids, 54 points, 11 out. Cam Williams, 55 points, 11 out. And Furzy09 at 58 points and 13 out. But the thick of the competition are the first group that I read. There is one person alive for the tennis racket that did not choose Novak Djokovic. Team 3 tennis out there, what's going on? Hope all is well. Team 3 tennis has Dominic Thiem versus Medvedev, but wait a minute. That can't happen. That can't happen, can it? He didn't look at his draw. Am I right or wrong?
What was his final?
He has Thiem versus Medvedev.
No.
Can't happen.
No one won the racket.
I can't, yeah. When I'm keeping up with all these, I've got 60 or 70 sheets keeping up with. It's hard for me to I just write down what you put and hopefully you did your homework.
None of you guys won the racket.
Tennis racket is out. This happened to someone that picked Serena and Kenin as well. That couldn't happen either. Oh shit.
It's in the bag.
It's right here.
Oh, okay.
So for the French Open, the same racket will be given away, the same type of thing. And it's a Dunlop Strixon 2.0 Revo, really nice racket, 4.25 grip. It was Carla's demo for a while. A couple little marks on the head, but otherwise still very nice. So we'll do it again for the French, but the racket is done.
Yep. Sister the Queen said Thiem actually wins the U.S. Open. What are his chances for the French? Less. I think he'll be tired.
It's a great question.
I think he'll be happy with that one and content.
Who?
Thiem.
You think Thiem would be a one and done?
Absolutely.
So if Thiem wins this major, he'll never win another one?
Absolutely.
He'll be like Anna Ivanovic, one and done.
You won't want.
Who are some other one and done players?
Sabatini, 1-1.
Ivanovic.
There's many. Iva Majoli was one and done.
How many did Curtin win?
Many.
He won many. Yeah, French.
Yeah. Goran Ivanisevic, won.
There you go. I can't think of any, but there's a lot of them out there.
There is, yeah. And there's nothing wrong. Bartoli, thank you. Stozer, thank you. What's the Italian player?
How about Lee Nano? She won too.
Didn't the Italian player, the one with the one-handed backhand that grunts a lot?
One-handed?
Schiavone.
Oh, the girl, yeah.
Yeah, she won one.
She won a French, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Thiem
will win a couple majors, not only one. You better hope. Michael Chang.
There you go. He won the French Open serving underhanded against, who was he playing? He beat Lindell, I think, in the quarters of the semis, and then proceeded to win the final. I forgot who Chang played that year in the final.
He beat Lindell?
No, I think he beat Lindell in the semis, wasn't it? Wasn't it the semis that year he beat Lindell?
Yeah. Sakari reminds me of Stozer because of her biceps.
There you go. That's a good, good comparison.
She does, actually.
Yeah, they both got cannons.
Yeah.
All right, we good?
Yeah, we're good.
All right.
Chill it. Good. Chill it.
That's another good one.
Yep. All right.
Guys, we're out.
Bye-bye.
Take care. I'm hungry. See you later. I won't eat in your ear.
I won't eat.